Good morning, students. Welcome back to our online class. I'm Praveen Thakur here with your Standard 3 Social Studies, Chapter 19 The Story of Early Man. So, already, when did the early man appear? The early man appeared nearly 40,000 years ago. 40 to 50, that is just an estimate. We don't know the exact time or date. The early humans remains. So what was remaining of those of the early men, that is known as remains, were found by archaeologists. Archaeologists are people who dig under the ground to search for prehistory, that is earlier period remains. So they are known as archaeologists, and they dug underground and found the bones and structures of that time, early period, and by that we came to know that 40, 50,000 years before there were humans, how they looked like, that we will explain, I will explain out here. They were known as hominid. The early men were called hominid, and the remains have been found in Africa. After that in other parts of the country, but first the remains were found in Africa nearly 40, 50,000 years before. How did the early humans look like? See, this is how the early humans looked like. A human being is an ape in origin. That means we are like apes. We were. And then slowly and slowly it took hundreds of years for us to change from apes and to become a human being. Then we started walking on two legs, using our two hands, and other activities also. But before, there was nothing like that. So that is nearly 40, 50,000 years ago. They did not have the knowledge of fire, wheel, or in farming, anything. What they did, they used to eat fruits and hunt animals. So this is how they lived in the early days. Humans hunting animals, eating the fruits, and they lived in groups because they were afraid of the wild animals. How would they attack them? They had no weapons. So only with sticks and stones they used to hunt the animals surrounding it from all the sides so that they would not be killed or harmed by the animals. This is how they lived. So that period when they used stones only mainly for hunting and for fishing also, that age is known as Stone Age. This is the way they hunted the animals, with stones and sticks surrounding it from all sides, because we know wild animals are very dangerous. If one person is there, animals can easily kill them. But when all the people surround from all the sides, then all the sides they can hunt together. So this is how they hunted the animals in the early period, with just sticks and stones. And they ate the flesh of animals. As in the picture also you can see, at that time there were no clothes. They did not wear clothes, and they lived in caves or they climbed on the trees when they saw the animals. They didn't know which animal is wild and which animal is pet animal. They did not have that much knowledge. When it became very cold, then they started using the skin of the animals to protect themselves. These were some of the weapons that were used at that time. So that early period is called as Stone Age. They used these type of weapons to hunt animals and to kill the fishes and to dig under the ground. So you can see all these pictures related with only stones, and then stones and sticks. The stones were tied to the sticks for hunting the animals, for skinning them, removing their skin, for digging. So these type of weapons were used. Early in the period, they did not wear clothes, but when it became very cold, then they started skinning the animals and wearing the clothes of animal skin for their clothes. Then as times passed, they had lot of time, because only hunting and eating was only their work. They did not have to go to work anywhere. So they started making cave paintings on the wall. Most of these cave paintings are found in Bhimbetka, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Out there, a lot of paintings are related, usually of hunting of animals. Most of the cave paintings of olden period are related to hunting of animals, how they hunted the animals, what different kinds of animals were there. So lot of free time they had. So with stones itself on rocks of the hills and mountains, they made these drawing paintings on the wall. See here also you can see hunting of animals, the paintings that is from Bhimbetka and other parts of the country also, of other states, capitals, continents. Here also you can see on the wall some cave paintings are there. These have been found and archaeologists have found them, and then they have given it to us to study what kinds of animals they were, how they used to hunt these animals. So this was related to the early humans, how they lived, how they worked in together. That age was known as the Stone Age because they usually with stones and sticks and the sharp teeth of the animals, because wild animals have some very sharp teeth. So with that sharp teeth also they hunted the animals because it made killing easier. As you know, any sharp object helps in cutting it more nicely, isn't it? So they use the teeth of the sharp animals also especially for fishing, because with stones they cannot kill the fish. Only some fishes that come on the surface. So they tied those bones to the sticks, and with that they hunted, they fished, killed the fishes in the water, and they used it even for hunting animals. So because most of that stones and sticks they use, so that age is known as the Stone Age. So cave paintings, I explained to you, because they had a lot of free period, so they made paintings on the wall so that what people will come after them, they will know how they hunted animals, using what they hunted animals. So most of these are paintings of olden times. Now let us relate it to this, what I have explained, let us see some question and answers. When did early man appear on the earth? So the early man appeared on the earth nearly 40,000 years ago. Nearly means it is an estimate, we don't know the exact time. What the archaeologists have found through the labs, through experiments, they came to know nearly 40-50,000 years before. So the early man appeared on the earth nearly 40,000 years ago. For what purposes did the early man use tools? So the early man used tools for hunting animals. Main first thing was hunting animals. Then digging. They used to dig it under the ground so that they could store the food or bury the bones of those animals. Fishing and sewing. So sewing, afterward they started learning, because when they skinned the animals, so they wanted to wear it, especially in the cold season. So they started sewing using that stones to sew the clothes so that somehow they could wear it. Of course 40-50,000 years ago there was no tailors, so they used these stones to sew the clothes. So the early man used clothes for hunting, used tools for hunting animals, digging, fishing and sewing. Now let us see the next question. What was he scared of and why? Yes, so he was scared of lot of things in the early period. Now we know what are dangerous animals, pet animals. They were afraid of the wild animals also, fire also. The early man was scared means being afraid of thunder, lightning, rain and clouds. Why? Because he had no knowledge about these. Why there was thunder? Why it is lightning? Why so much sound is coming when thunder is there? Why it is raining? They thought somebody is throwing water from outside. Why? And what are these dark clouds? and suddenly these dark clouds, then they starts raining and suddenly it becomes white again. So they did not know what is happening related to all this. Now these are all natural phenomena, but they did not know about this. So he was scared of thunder, lightning, rain and clouds. Why? Because he had no knowledge about all these things. Next question, why did he live in groups? Of course, the early men were afraid. They were afraid to go off to very far off places. So the early man lived in groups to hunt animals and to search for food. To hunt animals because they had no sharp weapons with them. So when working in groups, they could surround the wild animal from all the sides and they could hunt easily. It became little easier for them. And to search for food also, because they lived in groups because they were afraid that if I go very far away, I will fall down from the earth. They didn't know at that time that earth is round. They saw the sky is touching the ground, so they thought that the land ends out there. So if I go to that place, I will fall down from that land. So that is why they moved in groups, because they were afraid of everything. So usually the early man lived in groups to hunt animals and to search for food. So rest of the questions and answers I will explain in the next video. Thank you students and take care.